AT&T Park is the place to see and be seen these days. The likes of 49ers legend Joe Montana and Sharks head coach Todd McClellan, just some of the familiar faces. And China Basin having a more Hollywood feel goes well beyond a visit from notables like actor and San Francisco native Benjamin Bratt. Reality has set in on the cable channel Showtime, and the cameras following the Giants are documenting this entire scene for a national audience. Major League Baseball Productions is running the show, and just like their counterpart at another league, NFL Films, they are seeking to captivate the casual fan while also giving diehards plenty of unique looks at the Giants from behind the scenes. And the distinction here is that while Showtime is airing the franchise, it is a Major League Baseball production, and the spotlight on the Giants is just the start.
We want this to be a franchise. We want to do this every year. Ideally, you know, the response within the industry and within the game is positive enough that it's something that we do every year with a different club and tell a different story or a different set of stories.
Producer Danny Field has been with MLB Productions for nearly a decade and embraces the role of documenting what unfolds day to day.
We're part of the league. We work with all 30 clubs. We are trying to bring fans closer to the game. That's what we do. And we try and show the work that goes in. I mean, a lot of fans see, I say it all the time, but fans see these guys out in the field for 3 hours a night. And yet there's so much work that goes into it before the game, after the game. It's not uncommon an hour and a half after the game to see an Aaron Rowand or a Freddie Sanchez when he was healthy in the cage hitting off a tee at midnight. It's not uncommon to get here at 1 o'clock in the afternoon for a 7 o'clock game and Brian Wilson's 2 hours into his workout lifting. These guys put so much time in that our goal is to show that and also to show their personalities and to humanize them.
Some of this has involved following the players home for a look that only a Major League Baseball production could help provide. Producer Jason Katz, who interfaces with the team, says this is a critical element to making the franchise more than just a show about baseball.
This is one of the first times people can really see on a national level inside a baseball player's life. And that's not saying just inside the clubhouse. This is seeing Matt Cain and Jeremy Affeldt at home with their children. It's Matt Cain and Jeremy Affeldt leaving their children and knowing I might not see their first step. I mean, that's a pretty big thing, and that resonates. That doesn't just resonate with Giants fans or men. It resonates with the general public.
And the players who have taken them into their personal lives have fielded the questions from day one when the show was announced. Will this be a distraction?
Well, they definitely haven't been intrusive. I think, if anything, they've been very polite with how they've done the interviews and done the taping. They've asked permission for pretty much in every instance they've asked permission to do it, and guys say no, they're okay with it, and if they say yes, then we do it. So they've been pretty good in that angle. I think that from what I've heard, I haven't actually personally seen the episode. They've given us the DVD and stuff, but I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. But from what I've heard, and the coaches have seen it, they were pretty pleased with how it went.
Letting the show be something where the story unfolds is perhaps most important, so that from episode to episode, the action isn't forced.
That's the thing. This is a real reality show. There are reality shows on television nowadays where it's the exact opposite. Everything is scripted, planned. You can't script things in professional sports, especially in baseball. I mean, this is, the oldest sport in this country. It's the national pastime. Things are the way these guys want it. So you can't say, hey, can you do this way? They're going to do it the way they've been doing it and let us capture it.
And one of the keys to the access is keeping the production team small. You might think dozens upon dozens of people are working in the field capturing the footage like a motion picture film crew. But flexibility and working in tight corners is key.
Our goal is as we've said from day one, when we were pitching this thing to the Giants and when we were discussing how it would kind of take shape, our goal is to be a fly on the wall. And I think if you come in with, like you said, with 60 crews, you're going to outnumber players 2-1, and it's going to turn ugly. So right now, at this moment, we have 3 crews. Here's one.
The players know exactly who's a crew member of the franchise because each person in the production team is wearing clearly identifiable MLB Productions clothing, and they're constantly on the move.
We might be hot on the trail on a dozen different stories at any given time. But we have to be ready for 3 or 4 or 5 of those to just kind of peter out. On the flip side, we also have to be ready for 5 or 6 things to just present themselves. I mean, if you're here every day things are going to happen in front of you, and you just have to be smart enough and flexible enough to go with it when it happens. So we definitely every morning have an idea of how the day's going to go, and at the end of the day, if you look back on it, it's often very different.
Whatever unfolds, they're watching for it, and in the end, getting the story is one part having built up a level of trust, but more importantly, it's being there with unprecedented access, ready to capture it.
This show wouldn't have happened if it wasn't MLB producing all the, everything basically. We've done this for 12 years now, MLB Productions, in our current incarnation, but the players have seen us around. We were at the World Series every game last year. We travel around the country each year and do shoots with each team. So some of these guys had some comfort level with us, but coming into it was a bit of an unknown. This is the first time that we were really embedded with a full team.
This is all we do. We do baseball TV. We take our access with the players, and we try and bring fans closer to the game. So I think we kind of, as much as you can, be an outsider and kind of intuit the rhythm of these guys. I mean, we understand when we can push a little bit, when you just got to pull back. Ultimately, our only goal is to make the best show we can.
We've done things with front office. We've done things with a bullpen, but never with a 25-man roster. Ownership, president, GM, manager, coaches. So this is the first time we've really done this broad scope thing, and being there almost every day for 6 to 8 months has been. It's been sort of eye-opening on a bunch of levels.
Champion San Francisco Giants baseball.